AJ.
Hello.
Was that the best farming simulation direct we've ever seen?
It was definitely one of the Nintendo Directs of all time.
It was indeed.
Probably the most direct Nintendo Direct there's ever been.
Yeah.
What's clear is that farming games sell.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And apparently farming games that look like Harvest Moon from the GameCube actually are Harvest Moon from the GameCube.
Hey, this looks like a game I played on the GameCube.
It is. Nintendo just dropped their Direct and, well, we watched it.
We watched it and we reacted to it live. We were pumped. Before the Direct, we were pumped.
I was so hyped. I said to you earlier, I said this is going to be the best Direct we've ever had.
Actual quote. I wish I'd recorded you saying it.
And what was your reaction?
To what?
Me saying that. You laughed in my face.
I did, because I've been through Directs before.
So have I.
I actually said, you're going to be disappointed, Andy.
Yeah.
I actually said that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be right.
No,
because I was definitely excited by what could have happened.
Exactly.
And what did happen was Nintendo have decided to open up a farm. A farm.
So let's talk about what they showed that we had thoughts on, and at the end kind of rant about what wasn't there.
Okay, yeah, that seems like a fair way of doing this, because firstly, everything farming ever.
Yeah, we're not touching on all the farming stuff. There was so much farming stuff. I mean, one of them, I might give like 2 seconds of opinion on later, but to be fair, there's just so much farming stuff.
Yeah.
So much farming stuff. No. It was just a farming Direct.
Yeah.
Like, it really was.
It seems very clear that they've leaned into a certain franchise that sold very well and gone, how many different versions of this can we allow to be released on the Nintendo?
I'm pretty sure they were all made by Square Enix, weren't they? Why are they developing 15 farming games at the same time? Half of them look like phone games, half of them were phone games, and half of them looked semi-okay. And I don't know. If you love life sims, I'm sorry. That's great. I'm really happy for you.
No, I'm not sorry. If you love life sims, play a decent one, not one of these. Like, honestly.
Yeah. But the big thing, the big reveal, let's start with that, which is the last 5 seconds, which anyone should have just watched that bit.
I wish I just tuned in at the end.
Yeah. For a name drop. And that was all it was. And that was the biggest thing that dropped. Really, well, it wasn't. But
you're obviously talking about Zelda.
Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
Great name.
Great name, especially what's happening here right now in the UK.
Yeah. Poignant.
Poignant. But no, I'm super hyped for Tears of the Kingdom. We saw a little bit of footage there that we'd not seen before.
Yes.
Looked super good. Like, I cannot wait.
You actually said, I really want to play the first one again now.
Yes.
Yeah, so I can just continue the story.
And to be fair, it's May 12th next year. I've probably got time to bash through.
I mean, you're going to still be playing Xenoblade by then.
True. But I am playing different games alongside, so maybe they just get delayed. But anyway, Legend of Zelda, amazing. I'm glad for the name drop. I was anticipating it. I was.
It was pretty obvious.
Like, I had to drop the name. It comes out in May.
Yeah.
Anyway, next one that I predicted beforehand, Pikmin 4!
Right, this is weird. It
was weird.
How did you know Pikmin was coming?
I don't know.
There's no reason.
I don't know.
I thought they'd forgotten about Pikmin, to be honest. And
that's why I pulled it out of the hat. When I did my predictions in like a previous Switch News video, I kind of sat down before and thought, what have they given up on? And all the good stuff that they've given up on, they didn't revamp, which we'll talk about later. Yeah. But then I just thought, Pikmin. I thought, they brought Pikmin to the Switch, but it was a remake of another really old Pikmin game. Yeah. And I thought, I know loads of people love Pikmin, so surely there needs to be a new one. And it was.
Well, it wasn't all good. It started off with a mobile phone game. It started off
as a mobile game, and we both went, oh, Pikmin, and then it was like, check out my phone. And we're like,
it's like an augmented reality game.
Pokemon Go, Pikmin.
Basically, you got to go outside and walk, and we all know that we don't like going outside or walking, so that game's not for us.
Unless it's in the game.
I mean, Arceus.
Yeah, exactly.
Go outside and walk in that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Legend of Zelda: The Long Walk.
There was no footage, no details of the gameplay at all, other than we know it's called Pikmin 4.
Pretty much. Yeah,
but that's enough.
They even said we can't show you gameplay, but what they did say is that it's not top-down anymore. They went, you can see it from the Pikmin's perspective. That's true. And I like that.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, a game launched on PlayStation called Tinykin. And it is set on, like, you're the ground level behind a character that has to collect small creatures that have different abilities to help him through the map.
Yeah.
I said in my video about it, this is for those that are missing Pikmin, to scratch that Pikmin itch, I actually said.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think Pikmin was ever coming back.
Yeah, it does seem like one of those games they just throw away.
Yeah.
But Pikmin 4, I'm actually quite happy about this. I want to buy Pikmin 3 remake on Switch now, like just to get a teaser on it, because I've not played it.
I'm happy. I like it enough to be happy to wait until Pikmin 4.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I like collecting.
I know. No, it's fine.
games.
It's fine. I'm happy to wait.
And I haven't played a Pikmin for a long time, so maybe I wait and keep the hype for the 4.
Why don't you play the PlayStation one? Come over to the dark side.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was Pikmin.
Okay, next up,
yeah,
a game that you actually got really like girly and squeamy about.
I actually probably got more hyped.
A rhythm game.
Yeah, it was a rhythm game. Yeah.
And for me, I mean,
not your thing,
not my thing.
It's not massively my thing, but Christina loves this. Like, so basically, if you know me on the channel, you've seen some 3DS videos going up, and you've seen my ridiculous hoard of 3DS games.
Hoard's the right word,
yeah. And in my hunt for 3DS games, I've been trying to find Final Fantasy, what's it called? Theatre Rhythm, The Curtain Call, which is really hard to get hold of. You can get it. It's not overly expensive, but it's more than I want to pay.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to hunt that down, and for a while it's been on my radar. Keep looking just when I remember. And I still not found it, basically, for the price I want to pay. And then they announced Final Fantasy Theatre Rhythm Final Bar Line, and that made me really happy, because it's like, no longer do I need to pay over the odds for a 3DS game. I'm just going to ditch that and buy Christina the Switch one, because she's got Switch, I've got Switch, we can play it, And so I was pretty hyped.
Do you know, there's some elements to it that look quite cool. You've got the soundtracks from all the different Final Fantasy games and expansions for different RPGs as well.
Yeah, there was like Live Alive on there. There was something else on there as well.
There was a whole bunch.
Octopath, was there?
You were getting all squeamy. I couldn't hear them talk.
No, I know. To be fair, I didn't hear what they said, but I did see numbers flash up, and it was like over 500 songs.
It's huge.
That's ridiculous.
So that was pretty exciting. But from you being screamy and excited to me actually screaming out loud,
yes. I did too, though.
Yeah,
I was just as excited.
Yeah. This blew my mind.
Highlight of the Direct.
Oh, by a million miles.
This was the highlight.
The highlight of the Direct.
Genuinely was.
We've been talking about this since the Switch expansion pack came about, the N64 thing.
Yeah.
When that was a rumour,
we
were talking about this.
Yes.
Of course, we're talking about Goldeneye.
007
online.
Yes. On Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, NSO, the N64 sign, which means multiplayer online.
That's so cool. I mean, that's so... I can't even...
That's a reason that people will buy Switches.
100%.
Like, they will genuinely buy Switches to play GoldenEye online in the original version, because this ain't going to be like a HD remaster or anything. No. This is going to be original GoldenEye, tweaked, make sure it works properly, and then online. Like, amazing.
Will it still be 4-player, do you think?
I think it'll be more than 4-player.
Because the original was obviously maximum 4. Multiplayer's 4-player.
I think it's going to be more than 4-player. They didn't tell you.
No, they didn't.
They kept that out. They could have slipped in 4-player online. They didn't say any of that.
And will there be local multiplayer?
Yes. It's going to be local. I'm calling it now.
Okay.
It's going to be local 4-player.
Yeah, split screen.
Online up to 12 people.
Okay, he's called it. I am so excited. I actually have quite recently played on the N64.
Yeah.
GoldenEye. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. It's still cool.
It's so good.
I mean, it's very limited compared to current FPS games.
You know what we've got?
What?
The Nintendo 64.
We've got the N64
controller pack for the Switch.
I bought it specifically with this in mind.
Yeah.
That one day this will happen.
I genuinely want to get another one, even though they're really hard to find.
Are they hard to get now?
Since we bought them, if you remember, and they went out of stock within seconds. It's been that way ever since. They've restocked it twice. Instant out of stock.
I was tempted to buy 2 at the time as well.
Yeah, me too. We should have. But anyway, that is amazing. I'm so hyped about that. Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2.
Yeah.
If you watch that reacts, you'll see me hesitating, because I thought it was Pokemon Colosseum. Now, that came out on the GameCube, not on the N64. And that's why I was like, I really want to get hyped. But it wasn't.
Because you were expecting, this is the start of the GameCube stuff,
Yeah. It wasn't. But still, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, great. Next was Pilot Wings. Pretty happy with that.
Yeah,
and
great game.
Excitebike.
Yeah, both really good games.
Yeah. But then there was another heavy hitter, wasn't there?
Yes.
1080 snowboarding.
Now, anyone that had an N64 definitely had these two games. They had GoldenEye and they had 1080 snowboarding.
They were like the best games.
The best games. They were so good. 1080 snowboarding. I'm hyped for that.
Yeah.
So I'm just hyped to see that on the expansion pack, they are bringing some really heavy games as well.
Yes, not just filling them out with rubbish fillers.
We saw the NES and the SNES and a lot of the N64 games, to be fair.
Yeah.
And the Genesis Mega Drive stuff. A lot of filler games, if we're honest.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that they're not shy of leaning into the bigger ones as well.
And it's not just like, here's a load of rubbish, here's GoldenEye. It's like, here's GoldenEye, and then here's some other really good games. You know, and like you said, I actually am more happy with the N64 side of the online than any of the other stuff that's available.
It's by far the best.
Yeah.
By far the best.
Yeah.
I would say for the expansion pack, you got N64, then you got the Mario Kart levels.
Yeah,
and then everything else.
Yeah. So I'm really hyped by 1080 snowboarding. And just as a side note, I really want them to like remake SSX Tricky or something like that. There's no snowboarding games anymore on anything. Like, what happened to that? It was huge back in the day. And now it's
funny. I was going on the PlayStation channel the other day. I was going back through snowboarding games on the PS1.
Oh, really?
Just looking at them. Yeah, and
just do a video about it.
Well, it's upcoming.
Oh, right. Well, there you go.
Yeah, and I was thinking, actually, there's not any good snowboarding games anymore.
It's not. There's none. There's not even any bad ones. There's just none.
I was reliving Cool Borders.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Classic.
Anyway, back on topic. And then there was a game where we were watching it, and it might not have even been this one. There were so many farming games that at one point we were watching it, and I went, this just looks like Harvest Moon from the GameCube, which I played 15 years ago. And I said, that was the only good Harvest Moon. I said all the ones now are rubbish. And what I didn't realise is that there is actually a GameCube Harvest Moon game, but it had a different title, okay? So I didn't know.
Like, this looks exact. I mean, the only good one was this one. It looks just like that.
Yeah, and it was.
It was that one.
Because Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life on GameCube is being remade as Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. Why call it Story of Seasons? Why not just call it Harvest Moon?
Well, and that's weird, isn't it? Because Harvest Moon's a huge
It's a big name. Yeah, you know it being a farming
Yeah, why have they changed it?
I have no idea, but okay, I'm happy about it. I will actually buy that. You know that, right? Like, as much as we're taking the
Will you
mick,
buy that?
I will buy it, because when Harvest Moon, this came out on GameCube, my sister lived on a farm.
Right.
You're right. And at that time I went there and I helped out and stuff like that. And then she changed direction later in life or whatever. But I was playing this game while she was actually running a farm. Like, and I think it was like a weird, like, life coincidence.
Okay.
And I actually enjoyed that game on the GameCube. I spent way more time, even though it wasn't my kind of game, I actually enjoyed it. So I'm going to buy that just for nostalgia. So that's one that you probably won't expect me to say.
They'll sell.
That's one copy that they'll sell, yeah. And then moving on was another game that I was like, they've just released one of these. And what I didn't realize is, this has never come over to the West.
No.
Nope. And that's Fatal Frame if you're in America, or over here is Project Zero, A Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, which is a remake of a 2008 Wii game that only came out in Japan.
Say that with a mouthful. Yes. Actually, when it was showing the first few scenes of the game, you're like, oh, this looks a bit like Fatal Frame. Like they're ripping it off.
Yes. Yeah.
It was actually.
It was just Fatal Frame.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to bring out a physical. The last Fatal Frame that they made or remade, I can't remember what it was, that only came out 6 months ago, a year ago. They brought it over to the eShop, and the only people to get a physical was Japan, and I can't be bothered to import one from Japan. So
yeah, it's too much effort. That is.
So, but I if they make a physical of this, yes, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Next up was a PlayStation game.
It was, and more than it being a PlayStation game, because obviously it's where the best games are. It's not.
Clearly, after this direct, maybe they are.
Not as many farming games. Yeah, not just a good PlayStation game, but a good couch co-op game. And that's more important than anything else.
Actual couch co-op.
Yes. It Takes Two.
It Takes Two. Yeah.
Great.
Brilliant.
And we say all the time, whenever we get together, there isn't enough games that you can sit down with someone next to you and smash through.
Yeah, there's just not enough couch co-op. It's all online co-op. And it's like, right, okay, now you need a system each. Or if you're on PlayStation, you need a PlayStation each and a telly each in the same room.
Let's face it, I don't know. I know like one other person with a PlayStation 5.
Is that me?
Yeah. It is.
And there you go.
Yeah.
So It Takes Two, I've been wanting to buy it on PlayStation anyway, and now I'm going to buy it on Switch.
Yeah. It's great to see it. And if I'm honest, it's more of a Nintendo game than a PlayStation game.
That's what I got.
Feeling,
yeah, that's what I got when it was announced. I thought it was going to be cross-platform straight away.
Yeah.
Then it wasn't. And I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. But I kind of saw the Nintendo-ness in it.
It's very Nintendo.
You know, it just seems very
just a great co-op game. Lighthearted, fun.
Even though the story ain't
I was going to say a somber story, but, you know, it's good to see it.
Yeah.
From good to see
to terrible.
Absolutely infuriatingly frustrating. Capcom. Resident Evil cloud versions.
Why?
Or as you've written in your notes here, cloud fail.
Cloud fail. That is my notes, yes. Because Resident Evil is very dear to me, to us, to be honest.
Yeah,
so, you know,
huge,
we love the Resident Evil series. So much. I've got all of them. I've imported them from America. I just said I didn't want to import Fatal Frame, but I imported all the physical versions of Resident Evil on Switch. So that's 0 and 1, like together, and then 4, 5, and 6. Even though they're all available in the eShop, I'm a big.
And we've talked about this before, and you're like, oh, it'd be great if they just did 2 and 3 physical versions.
Yeah.
Remake, make them lower res if that's what needs to be done, whatever it is.
Yeah,
but
just bring them over.
There's no reason why they couldn't be.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Really, no. And no, they're just doing it all cloud. So that's Resident Evil 2, 3, 7, and 8 Village coming to the Switch, but cloud only.
It just doesn't. Here's the problem. It doesn't fit Nintendo. It doesn't. More importantly, it doesn't fit Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
because you've got to dock that now.
Yeah, it's no longer a portable console, which the whole point. The
whole point of it is you can switch how you're playing. That's why it's called the Switch.
Yeah, this is a non-Switch game.
Yeah, it does.
It's a docked only game, and to be honest, it should say docked only. They should say don't even bother trying to play it. Because you're not going to, unless you've got a router on your lap and you have the best internet you can get.
What happens if you've got a light? You just can't play it.
Or you can, but you've got to have really good internet.
You have to have mega Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It just doesn't work.
No, so I'm really disappointed by that. That really bummed me out.
Yeah.
But from that to something that you were really hyped for.
Oh, mate. Sifu.
Oh.
Sifu is one... I'll say it's one of the best games I've played of recent times come out on the PlayStation.
Nice.
Mega game.
Yeah.
It's... strategy, you've got to be strategic, but it's basically you're playing for a kung fu novel. It's so hard.
Yeah,
it's got proper roguelike elements to it.
Yeah.
This really interesting mechanic that when you die, you obviously respawn, but you're older.
That's cool.
So you've got less health, but more strength and abilities.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you're going to come into a room full of enemies and obstacles, and now you're going to have to re-strategize how you go through it.
Yeah, because you
can't take so many hits.
So are you just like a coffin on the floor by the end of it if you die too much?
With wheels.
You just run them over.
Just a punch.
You're like, that's it. But
no, you obviously you get to the end of your life and you die. It's game over.
It's a shame.
But
do you not start as a baby? Like, does it not just loop?
You start at 21.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, fine.
It is a kick-ass game.
It
Great fun. Cool. Huge amounts of playability to it. To see it come to Switch, I'm stoked.
Do you want to know something, AJ?
Yeah.
Did it say cloud in the title?
No, it didn't.
It didn't.
No.
It means it's a native port.
Native port. And it's I would say it's a hardware demanding game. It looks good.
Yeah.
It doesn't look particularly down res.
It's something that I was interested in. And when you did a video about it, whenever it was like a year ago or whenever they like announced it on the PlayStation channel, by the way, go subscribe.
Oh yeah.
So like when they announced that, I was like, that looks cool.
Yeah.
And then I've dismissed it because it was on PlayStation.
So to see it come to Switch, it is mega. Cool. That is.
And again, being able to play something like that handheld,
I think it's going to be better handheld.
Probably will. Yeah,
it will definitely fit a small screen really nicely.
Mm-hmm. And then something that I don't really know much about at all, but I just thought aesthetically and storyline wise was right up my street. This was probably one of the highlights for me as in new games.
Yeah, something you're introduced to.
Yeah. Was Master Detective Archives Raincode.
Raincode. It had Astral Chain vibes all about it.
I really thought it was going to be Platinum, but it wasn't. It was some other game company I've never heard of before. No. I'll have to look into that, maybe do a dedicated video on it. But
does look mega.
I'm big into like detective games, like LA Noire.
Yep.
Amazing game. And anything detective-y, like Heavy Rain, even on the PlayStation. Amazing game. Fahrenheit, which is the same people, Quantic Dream, that makes those games. One of the best games ever, that game. It's fantastic. All those kind of like heavy storyline, like you've got to like detective work stuff. You know?
You've got to really think about what's going on.
You've got to like solve puzzles and find clues, and that's kind of why I like Resi as well. It looks like that, but then with Astral Chainy twists. You've got like a little ghost with you and stuff. And I think what it is like, I didn't quite get, we were talking so much over it, I didn't quite get if they're dead and you're trying to figure out why and how they died, and then they like pass on. Do you know what I mean? Like if that was the detective thing, it was something related to that, but it looks awesome. That's a definite pickup from me. Yeah. But there was no release date.
It was exciting to see something brand new.
Yeah.
As in a franchise we've not been introduced before. Yeah, that's it. New IP. Because sadly, that was very lacking from this Nintendo Direct.
I'm really disappointed. I know we're always slightly under dealt. You know what I mean? Like
every Direct I've watched of you has been underwhelming.
It has been, and there's always been some great games like we've seen here. Like there's more that we've not even talked about as well, which I'm sure some will be right up your street. But we just highlighted ones that we wanted to talk about. But anyway, like I was going into this. There's been rumors for years about Metroid Prime 1.
Yeah.
Or the trilogy being brought over.
Yeah.
And it makes so much sense because it was Metroid's 35th anniversary or whatever, literally like a couple of months ago.
And they had that high wave of Dread, all that like attention and people loving it.
Yep, Dread sold better than any other game in the Metroid franchise within a year.
If they wait any longer, especially for Prime 4, which has been in development for years. They wait any longer, are they going to miss out entirely?
Exactly.
It's just going to be a failure?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, seeing the new Switch OLEDs being brought out for Splatoon 3, there's now a Pokemon OLED. I mean, if they're going to delay Metroid stuff for the Switch Pro and they bring out a limited edition Metroid edition, I'm buying it. But that's the only way I'm going to feel like happy about it.
Can I just say, it's definitely going to be called the Super. Not the Pro.
I really hope it's called the Super Nintendo Switch, or they'll do what they did with the 3DS and call it the new Nintendo Switch, and everyone go, "What?"
That was the worst.
Trying to sell it secondhand. Is it new? Yeah,
it's the new.
It's used. What do you mean? I don't know. Like whatever.
But where was Wind Waker?
Wind Waker HD port from the Wii U. The Wii U, I was adamant this was coming because the Wii U shuts down next March. We've got months left, and that's the only way you can buy the HD Wii U ports of these games, Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. Once the Wii U eShop shuts, you can't buy them anymore. So I thought, well, it's obvious they're going to bring them over to the Switch, right? Carry it on because they're going to sell. Nah. Why would we do that?
It's Nintendo though, isn't it?
Yeah, and it'll be next year.
Well, will it ever?
Probably not.
They have this kind of tendency just to do what you don't expect.
Yeah, true.
Always.
And Tears of the Kingdom's now coming out in May next year. They ain't going to bring Twilight Princess and Wind Waker.
No way.
After that or before it.
No.
That's it. Like, so maybe they're waiting for the Switch 2 Pro Super new.
Possibly.
I don't know, but that really, really bummed me out. Like the one things that I was waiting for was anything Metroid, even if it was Prime 1, nothing else, or even a 30-second trailer from Prime 4 saying
just a development update.
We are actually working on it.
By the way,
then I would have been like, and then been really hyped. But no, and nothing to do with Zelda other than the name of the new one, and that was it. So I'm a little bit disappointed.
Overall, it was disappointing.
Yeah,
mainly farming games, as we said right at the start. Just like, but there were a couple of highlights when we boiled it down. There's a couple of bits of excitement. One new game that looks really exciting. Yeah. Some classics coming out.
Yeah, like overall, when you look at each thing that was happening, and obviously we saw like loads of games that we know about, like Bayonetta and stuff like that, and like stuff for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and Splatoon 3. Like there was a lot of really good things in there, but I had such high hopes for like GameCube remasters that never came. And does that mean that actually they're just waiting to put GameCube on the Nintendo Switch Online, and then we'll just see them trickle through that?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I want remasters. I don't want the originals. Like, I want Prime one, like HD,
I don't
4K, 9K.
I don't think you're getting it.
12K.
12K. 128K.
Yeah, 128 KB.
No, I think it will be announced as a console in the expansion pack to keep you subscribed.
Yeah, and it will drive the price up.
And then they won't launch all the games you want. Yeah. They'll trickle feed them out.
Yeah, so we'll be waiting 5 years for Metroid Prime 1.
Yeah.
Probably. But yeah, so there we go. That was our thoughts. Overall, when you look at it, actually it was a really good Direct, but I'm just a little bit...
I wouldn't have put really in there.
Okay.
It was a good
It was
Direct.
a Direct.
It was the most direct.
There was, yeah.
Yeah. Some good games, but yeah, everything farming ever.
Yeah, that's it. And well, there we go. So if you want to see our live reaction, go and check out this video just here, and then maybe check this one out if there's one there.
I wouldn't bother.
I don't know.
Nah, it's probably not worth it.
Go watch it and subscribe. And subscribe to 128KB News, where you'll find AJ on the PlayStation.
Subscribe to him.
Just subscribe to me. Don't subscribe to him.
Bye.